Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. Wishing all of you a wonderful, wonderful new year. May this year be the most auspicious, filled with Guruji's grace and blessings in your lives, your families, your friends, and the entire world. I'm quite a one track. Even in the greeting Happy New Year, I find a satsang clue. So if the year is new, who is it new for? A new year is here now. And a new year was here last year also. And a new year was here the year before that also. And before that also. And before that also. Before it was not. There comes a point that there's no experience of a new year. So the one who's had these new year experiences over the years is which one?
I'm
So if a year is a measure of time, and time seems to present these new possibilities for us at regular intervals, then you who are tasting this flow of time, are you subject to this time? If it is the year that rejuvenates and there is a new year that comes for you, a new day which comes for you, a new minute which comes for you, a new second which comes for you, is the you for whom it comes subject to it? And on the other hand, if you were not here, would there be this next minute, next moment, new year? Only in imagination. Even for imagination, you have to be there. So you are actually the substratum. So this is another one of the mind's convictions, which will say that you are the one that is subject to time. Actually, you are the subject of time. Time is the object for you. So this wonderful new year appearance is appearing for all of you. And I hope you have the most joyful, blissful time in this new year. And of course, as with every year, it will be mixed with some sugar and spice. So don't expect it to be only a certain way. Know that in this world of duality, all the ups and downs will come. But more and more you are starting to see that you are not oppressed by time. You are not controlled by time. Even for time to exist, you must be. If there was no such thing as time, then for one thing, we would not have to or get to wish each other Happy New Year. Is it? But also you would experience yourself in your entirety in just this moment. A dynamic aspect also is being stretched out seemingly over that which we call time. But actually nothing is moving. It is all already here. We're just visiting it with our attention. And the movement of this attention leads to what we call this time and space. What is the screen on which all of this is? Yeah? You might feel like it is outside you, because you might believe that you are this body and the world where all this is happening is outside of you. But actually you are just experiencing all of this on the screen of your own being. That is why, whether you call it internal perceptions or outer perceptions, there's only one space in which you are perceiving them. Is this clear or is too much for first day Satsang? Let's be coming. Like, come on, Ananta. At least on the first day, let's talk about. Can't help myself. As you exist, you see, all this existence, all these perceptions are being perceived, isn't it? So the eyes are open like this, so this visual stimuli is there. Eyes are closed, other stimuli can come. Thoughts, imagination, memory, you see. All of this is dependent on what?
Being.
Yes. On your being, on your existence. It's a beautiful example that Bhagavan shared, I think. In which light is this world in front of you now? In whose light is it? What is shining right now? What is that light without which nothing is? Is it this physical light without which nothing is? Where is that light coming from? In the light of which even the sun is seen. The sun is perceived in whose light? You see, this is the glory of you. That your being, your Atma, is the light of this universe. But this very same Atma has also given itself the power to believe that it is just some minor object. Subject to time, limited in space. This is the only misunderstanding. And if we can clear it up in the first day, it's fine. Your presence has been taken to be something personal by presence itself. And now it is ridding itself of this misunderstanding through this play of satsang. Nothing has actually ever become limited or divided or separated. Therefore, nothing has to be fixed actually. Only this misunderstanding has to be looked at. And once you clarify the truth for yourself, it is thrown away. I was saying the other day, isn't it? If you believe, some of you here first time, if you believe that you're in Koramangala, you see, and I say no, you are in Murugesh Palya, would I have to move you from Koramangala to Murugesh Palya? You are already here in Murugesh Palya. Okay? So only the misunderstanding has to be thrown away. Only the idea of Koramangala has to be given up. To be give up, not to replace the belief that I am in that place with another belief that I am in this place, but actually checking where you are. So you considered yourself to be limited, and now I'm pointing out to you that you are not. All you have to do is check and stay with whatever you find. So the pointers in satsang are for that. Not to bring you to a new state. This can be one misunderstanding. Why can't I hold on to a state? Sometimes I get questions like that. That I have glimpses of it, but why can't I hold on to it? Because it is not about that. See, all states can come and go. What is the substratum for those states? Can any state exist without you? This you has been misunderstood as something personal. That's why no practice is really needed. No movement is really needed. And no practice or movement can get in the way also. Whatever might be happening in this world can keep happening. But when you really want to check on who you are, nothing can really get in the way. You see, that is the beauty of this. If you are convinced that you are in Koramangala, then you will continue to play as if that is true. So if your belief is that I am a body-mind, I am a limited entity, then you might continue to play that way. Nothing can get in your way. So usually what happens is, there must be some openness to drop the false belief. Many times it can happen that even for those who come to satsang, it can happen that it is just some sort of a reinforcement. They want a reinforcement of a false belief. Yeah, are we taking this Koramangala example too far? No, I still feel it's a little useful. So you might say that, okay, just tell me how to be happy. Don't try to rid me of or bring me to Murugesh Palya. I just want to be happy in Koramangala. And I'm saying that till you have this misconception, you see, it is not going to be the end of suffering, because a lie just pinches, you see. There's bound to be a poking sensation in the play of this world, as long as you're believing a lie about yourself. That is the design of this play. That's why I was saying to Google or to somebody else the other day that mostly we become open to satsang because we have suffered in life. We have seen that all our belief system somewhere is not bringing us to that contentment, that peace that we are looking for. Okay? So many times when you come to satsang with that openness to adopt the idea, Koramangala idea, even to say, I don't know where I am, for me that is enough. But if you want something for that one who is seemingly sitting in the other place, how can anybody help? You see? So now you can replace Koramangala with the basic notion, I am something. I am a person. How many of us are willing to let go of this notion? That is openness. Yeah. If you want freedom personally, then I can tell you that there is no such thing. Personal freedom actually is the mind's version of freedom. I should have the freedom to do whatever I think. You see? I should have the freedom. If I think of $1 million, I should have it. If I think that I should have the best relationship, I should have it. I should have the healthiest body, I should have it. This is the mind's version of freedom. What is the truth's version of freedom? Huh? What is the truth's version of freedom? What is? This what is. This is your freedom already. The appearance of this world is in your light. So separation is nothing but resisting what is. Can you suffer without resisting what is? Possible? Maybe. It is not possible. Unless we have an idea that the people in my family should be this way, but why are they that way? Cannot suffer because of that. What is just is. They are how they are. But to have an expectation that it must be some other way is how we separate. All these interpretations are a way to avoid what is, to resist what is. Okay? Now, some are suffering because of a worldly appearance, interpretation of a worldly appearance. Some are suffering because of some idea of career or money. Some are suffering because some emotions are being experienced. Okay? But even with Govil, if he's experiencing fear, he's hardly ever saying that the fear right now is too much. The interpretation from the mind is coming and saying, but what if it doesn't go away in the future? Nothing in your present experience is ever too much because it is just a reflection of your own light. And your light is always stronger than the reflection. But it can start seeming like too much when we believe our notions about them. I was joking with someone the other day that if it is too much, even the design of this play, you will lose consciousness. So then, if what is already true, and you are the light of this presence, which contains all of this, then what you want next? Can you want something without first picking up the idea that I am something limited? Are the mind's offers coming for God? Let's at least clarify that. So whatever I said, I've said in a very long way that you are God. You see, basically that's what I'm saying. Now, when the mind is offering or doubting, is it offering or doubting for God? Or is it offering and doubting for a limited version of you? And does your direct experience resonate more with what I am saying than what the mind is saying? Yeah. If you're thinking about it, then I know I'm in trouble. If you're looking, then I know that the truth is inescapable. Now I'm saying that you are the super magnificent, the super luminous, glorious consciousness itself. Now, why would you want to become a special enlightened person or something? What you already are is all that you will ever be. And it is all there is actually. Not 1 inch you have to move, not one instruction you have to follow, not even a pointing is needed. Nothing at all to be. This being. This being is playing the game of being misunderstood by itself. I also noticed that here the habit has become to share satsang. So even when I'm on a break, something keeps coming. So then I post on Facebook. I felt it was quite nice what came the other day. And the feeling is that it's a very, very useful pointer. Saying that if you really must be something, then be space. Another way of saying what I've been saying for some time, just be open. Just be space. Allow everything to come and go. What is space? Is space objecting to any object coming into this room or not coming? Is space wanting to do something about what is appearing or not appearing? It is just space. All things can come and go. All actions of this body can also come and go. Note that I'm not saying the body has to become space. Sometimes the identification is so deeply ingrained that when I'm saying be space, you're trying to make the body like space. Not this like. The body is also present, appearing in space, and it can do whatever it likes. You are the space in which all of this is appearing. You cannot resist as space. That's the beautiful quality of space. Actually, to be like this space, or see that we have this spaciousness within us, is truly what it means to go on a silent retreat. Because it's not so much about just outward silence, but this inward, non-resistiveness. How many of you feel that when he says be space, it's just some strange sort of instruction? There's no space, I can be. If you don't feel that, then this pointing could be very helpful. Then you will find that even this space is notional, and that you are nothing. You are not nothing, but you are nothing. And for me, it sounds like a very simple pointer to what I'm pointing to. So just allow everything to just be. Just let it be. No need for any judgment. But if judgment is coming, let that also come. Let it be. Don't have to meddle with anything at all. Just let it be. So maybe this year, instead of saying don't believe your next thought, I'll say don't meddle with anything at all. Don't have to fix anything. Don't have to make anything better. Don't have to get anywhere. Nothing to do. Don't even have to just be. Because you can take on the task, I am just going to be now. But you are not doing the being. Are you doing the being? Because that would mean that you could not do it. If you're not doing the being, does being fall apart? Do you stop being? Being is just being naturally in its own self-energizing ways. And when being doesn't want to be anymore, there's nothing you can do to hold it up. But you will witness even that. After you be, after you exist, do you have to switch on the world? It comes on its own. Do you have to switch on the movements of the world? It's also moving. Is this body separate from the world? This is also moving. Heart beats on its own, or you have to switch it on? Breathing happens or no? Everything is happening naturally. Effortlessly, this world is moving. Effortlessly, you are existing. And effortlessly, you are aware of this existence. All your doership was made up. Anytime you pick up the idea that I have to do this or not do this, it's like you're believing yourself to be some imagined pet cat or something, and that cat has to do all of this. Today is the day for resolutions, no? So is it the wrong day to have this conversation?
It's something nice.
Yeah.
The will to be free is bondage.
The will to be free, or at least the intention or the idea that I must find freedom itself can be bondage. Yes.
Other practical doing things.
Yeah. Yes.
How do you see that?
The practical doing of things is done by who? Do you have to invent a notional entity called you who then has to do them, or they can happen irrespective?
Yeah, but thought says you have to.
Of course, thought is. Now these words are happening. They are being spoken by automatically. So if it can put together a sentence, can't it move the hand also? You know, even the scientists say that to put together a coherent sentence is more complex than moving your hands and feet. Now you say words are just coming automatically. Then why can't movements of hands and feet happen?
But if I listen, like mind gets into not doing then.
But it makes doing out of even not doing. I was just going to say that actually. I'm glad you said. You see? Now you can say, okay, father said not to do, so I'm going to just not do. See? And even that it doesn't succeed in many times. But many times after Advaita Satsang, you get stuck in this sort of doing the not doing. You know what I'm saying? Don't do anything means what?
So it means
Wait, this is a very good question for everyone. Don't do anything. What does it mean? Can you show me one moment of not doing anything?
I can't be statue.
But even that would be doing the being statue, no? Even if you were able to be the statue, even that you would be like trying to do the being statue. So as long as this apparent world is there, it is a world of activity. Activity will constantly happen. You see? So don't do anything means don't pick up the notion that there is an individual doer of them. Isn't it? Where there's no not do, that's why I said when you exist, the world comes on. And the world is moving. And the world includes this body.
So when you
Is there any such thing as not doing in the play of this world? There is always activity. This is the world of activities.
So, Father, if you feel like there is urge to
Yes.
do something,
Yes.
thought convey you as a you have to do it personally.
Yeah.
But in your case, how do you see it as?
Yeah. I see that many times the doing is happening, then the thought is coming, yes, yes, well done. And sometimes the thought is coming and saying, no, no, you shouldn't be doing this, you see. But the doing is happening and the thought is coming. Sometimes thought comes before, sometimes thought comes after, depending on what the mind wants to play, as guilt or pride or, motivation or demotivation. It can play all of these. But I see just like thoughts are coming and going, actions are coming and going. Both I see as appearances, appearing on the screen of my being. And this also, you also see it the same way. Our seeing is the same. You see? And yet our believing is different. So they say seeing is believing. If that was true, then we would not have to meet in Satsang every day. Because what you're seeing also is the same. You're seeing all these actions happening on their own, just like thoughts are coming and going on their own. So our seeing is the same. But what we're believing is the concepts in the mind saying you should not do this or you should do that. It's not good, you should not have done. It's very good, you did that. You see, pride, guilt, all these.
Even the what if question is related to
What if what?
This, you will do this, what if this happens?
Analyzing cause and effect.
Yes.
It's all part of the play of the mind, the design of consciousness to believe itself to be something limited. So if you forget about cause and effect, life will become much simpler. You didn't catch me on that. That is also cause and effect. If therefore this is just a fallacy, that's why one of my favorite things, and Krishna also posted it in the group, the new group that we started, the new page, where he said that one of my favorite examples from Ashtavakra, from the Yoga Vashisht, is this: the bird flies, lands on the branch of a coconut tree, coconut falls. What is the conclusion immediately the mind rushes to? Because the bird landed on the branch of the coconut tree, but it has no such knowledge. Both things just happen. It is just a presumption. And the mind has tried to give us many stories. It is because you think this way, that's why you act this way. It also tried to make that linkage, isn't it? But now that you come to Satsang, you know that many times actions happen, but later the thought comes post facto to take credit or blame. But all these correlations are not relevant.
So, Father, when the thought comes and the emotion comes,
yes.
Does that emotion also action, or how do you see it?
Look at everything as energy within consciousness. Then you don't have to subdivide also. You see, if you hear this, see how much clarity will come. What is the body? A set of sensations that we've only put together and said, this is body.
Yes.
It's basically a set of sensations. What is this world? The sensations of the body and other sensations which we call visual perception, and we call that world. You see? What is mind? You've taken one energy construct or a few, like thoughts, memory, imagination. We've collected those and called that mind. Besides these theoretical, if you throw away the label, these theoretical notions about them, is there a body, a mind, a world? No, it's all one set of sensations. We were taught this is your body. It was not natural to us. We were taught this is the world which is outside you. It is not natural to us. We were taught this is the mind. Maybe in Satsang we were taught that. Now without these labels, what is there?
Just is. Father, when you like perform in the world, like you do some roles.
Yes. Right now you're doing a role or no? Right now also role is happening. No? I'm father, your son, you're asking the question, I have the answer. All these are roles. But even these are just theoretical notions. Ananta is just a notion. Oval is just a notion. All that is moving are waves on the ocean of consciousness. So that now you have a notion of outside world, satsang world. Forget about that notion. What is there? If you can ask a question there, you can also ask a question there. How come you have this distinction between outer world and satsang world? When you have to perform in the world, did you mean here?
Outside.
Outside. Why? How come performance can happen here but not outside?
Presence, Father. The presence is different here.
Just some energetic support, some energetic system seems to be there in satsang. You see? But is that energetic system creating action?
But it creates faith somehow, not outside.
So have this faith then, that which creates this faith here will take care of everything that has to happen there. If some faith is available to you in this room, then let me use that opportunity now. Actually, I'll go back to what I was saying. I was saying that what you are seeing and what I am seeing is the same. I am seeing a set of sensations, a set of perceptions. You are also seeing the same. If you were not to make these subdivisions, then what is there? All these subdivisions are theoretical, that much we agree? Okay. So if you were to keep all the theory aside, what is there?
With a strong label with this emotions. Yeah, this is me.
Before this concept was there, was it there? Like 2 seconds ago? You see? So it is not actually there, it is just a belief system. Now, do you want to believe in mythology or what is? Then one tip is for you to just slow it down. Really slow it down. Okay, fear is there. Fear is there. Don't mix a notion of you in that. Then have that integrity. Fear is there. Coconut is green. It means nothing to me because I don't find this me. When we mix notions with this painful notion of me, what is that Guruji story? Guruji shares his story, isn't it? When man came to the doctor and he said to the doctor, everywhere it is paining. Everywhere it is paining. You know, it's like, oh, here it's paining. Yeah, it's paining. Here it's paining. Yeah, it's paining. Everywhere it's paining. A doctor touches, not paining. So what is it? The finger was paining. So everywhere he was touching was paining. So that is like the me. Anything you provide the me to starts to become painful. Did Guruji say this or it came up in Satsang here? I don't even remember these days. All the good examples are coming from. So this one I was talking about. You give even chocolate cake to the mind and it only mixes mud in it. In the same way, you give anything to the notion me and what it means for me. The doorway to play of suffering is open for us, right there and then. Now this perception, I can see that some fear is being experienced. If it didn't have that label also, so heavy. Heavy means unbearable, and yet something is there which is bearing it. So what is the complaint of that one from what you see? The one that is actually experiencing this pain. What is that one's complaint? So this lawyer, you see, which is representing that one, makes all this heavy, unbearable, too much.
Somehow he knows it, but he doesn't want to.
Yes, it's like, what's another good example? Something that is played as a cat for so long, now is seeing that there is no cat. But all it still continues to do is meow. Meow. Me and owl. So our belief is like a force multiplier. And how it functions is like this. It convinces you that you must be fearful of the fear. And the fear seems 100 times multiplied because we're fearing the fear. Because of our belief. That meow thing is very good. All suffering is me-ow. Pain, of course, can be independent of that. Pain is a part of the appearance of this world, as is pleasure. But suffering is just me-ow, me-ow. No? So what you're seeing, so this cat thing is really adding up now. What you're seeing is that there is no cat. And what is the cat? So cat was notional. And I'm not even leaving you with nothing. I'm giving you God instead. What do you want? Yeah. You want to be the cat God or you want to be God? Enlightened cat. The cat sage. Or just God. Just plain old God. Yeah. You want to be the cat that got over all its fear? No. You want to be the independent cat? No. Because even now this cat mind will come and tell you that now you're using crutches of father, you're using crutches of mantra, you're using crutches of Ram, you're using crutches of Satsang. So you better be independent.
That's why he's making the difference with Satsang God versus
Exactly.
outside.
Agenda of this cat. I know. Yeah. Jerome says, no, M-E, me, and then O-W, ow. I was worried that this satsang is starting off too technical. Now we come to very understandable example. Me and now.
You also say goat, man,
Man. So when I say that you can throw away all that you want to become, it is not because I want you to renounce something. It is more a reminder of that which you already are. Because your notion of becoming something is preventing your seeing of that which is all there is. Okay, if I came in the form of Vashisht himself, some great sage came. Huh? And okay, so let's build this story more. If Ananta posted on Facebook that today we will all have the darshan of what is the greatest sage? Let's say Bhagwan. Huh? Let's say Bhagwan will come. He came in my dream last night and he said, you will have the physical darshan of Bhagwan today for all those who come to Satsang. And in that Satsang, whoever comes, in that one moment they will be free. Of course, this hall would be much fuller than probably have to hire out a big arena. Okay. And then Bhagwan came and said, you are free. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. The truth about you would not have changed. It is still the same. You always have been. And Bhagwan is anyway telling us the same thing every day. When you read a book, when you read a quote, and you just feel his presence in your heart, what are you hearing? Is he telling you that you are something that needs to become something free? What are you finding? What is your intuitive presence saying right now? Is your presence saying but? Is your intuition saying but?
Why is it so easy to pick up the falls? And why is it so hard to return to stabilize in the
She says, why is it so easy to pick up the falls and so difficult to stabilize in the truth? That's a question. So if I say not difficult, so this notion suppose was here and difficult. Oh, now,
it's just a
yeah, so I picked it up for you and threw it. Now, are you true or false? Now, true or false? What is more natural? True.
just a notion to pick up the falls.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel.
Yeah?
It doesn't feel so.
Doesn't feel what?
The notion of picking up the falls.
So before the feeling, what is your insight? You know, you got the question. When you checked, you said, just what is this true? And then another notion came, but it doesn't feel like that. Was that what it was? Then? Gee, it doesn't
I finished my crying already.
It's okay. That's a prediction that could be true or false. We'll see.
I finished for today. Truth is very obvious.
The truth is obvious. Yes.
The picking up also is not so obvious like how the truth is. I mean to say, without realizing it's picked up. And if that is a notion,
yes.
It doesn't feel like a notion.
That only, yeah. So, with the picking up of the false notion, does the reality of you change?
Yes.
But prior to feeling, what do you see?
I would have been lost in the false.
So, we're using two qualitative indicators to tell us where we are. Our feeling is telling us we are in Koramangala. Our thought is telling us we are in Koramangala. But when you're checking, where do you find yourself? Koramangala. My example is failed. This is not Koramangala. This is Burgesh Palya. This is old airport. Now let's do this again. What I was trying to say is that because the habit is a certain way, it can be, we have to go even beyond our feelings and our thoughts and see reality for what it is, uncolored by the quality of feeling or by the thought. It's like saying, I saw that the sun comes from the east, but my feeling still is that it comes from the west. I see that I am unlimited, but I am still feeling limited. And that is why what is most important in satsang is your own inner insight. More than any feeling, more than any thought. Stay with what you find. So right now, tell me, where is your boundary? There isn't a boundary. What feeling can be too much for you then if you are the boundaryless one?
It's personal. Or I can say it's something which is not a nice feeling to experience. There is a little resistance to the.
Now just stay with the feeling itself and tell me what is it. Just like you're looking at an object. Don't be quick to interpret it. Tell me about the feeling itself. Be as true in your words to your looking as possible, not to what you're interpreting. You got it, no? Be as true as possible to what you're finding rather than what your mind is interpreting it to be. So feeling is there. Where is it appearing? Inside you, outside you? Inside. How big is this inside where this feeling is come? Can I put one more feeling there? Does it have any more space?
If I believe that this feeling is mine, then it is here.
Yeah. Actually, it is just a perception. Now, what is the perception hurting? The one that is perceiving it? Or how is the perception hurting the one that is perceiving it?
isn't, but then
Wait, slow. It isn't. So that was true to your seeing. The but then is coming from interpretation or your seeing?
interpretation.
So you want to play with that also now, or can we leave it?
To clarify.
Okay.
I forgot.
See?
I wanted to know it.
Now it's gone, so that is trouble.
Oh, yeah.
This one.
No, because there was some link. That's why.
The only link is notional.
So when these emotions come up, they arise in me.
If you don't meddle with them,
So no matter how much fear, anxiety,
yes.
pain, they just let it be.
Yes. Because what can you do anyway?
It's such a very uncomfortable feeling.
Yes, but isn't your attempt to try and fix it even adding to the energy of that?
It is. So we just let it be. So it's just that we have to get used to that kind of.
Yes, but I'm also telling you that you're like this wall. Anything that comes is no bigger than a small dot. We are just believing that it is.
Okay.
Yes. It is just that it becomes the center focus of our attention. And you see this habit with anyone. Those who haven't heard this example before. If there was just a big wall and there was a black dot here, I say, what do you see? 99% will say black dot. Who will say big wall? That is the nature of the interpretive mind. To make the negative seem so big, blown out, and to just ignore that godly spaciousness which is within you, in which all this is coming and going. If you're buying a butt, you might as well say,
Actually, I'm thinking, just why can't I?
why
Right
can't
here.
I?
We wanted to say this.
You are forever. Forever is in you.
How do you pick that neutrality?
How do you?
Pick up the neutrality in everything.
Don't have to pick up anything.
It's easy to say.
Even saying it is more difficult than it. You want to try it?
You should play the role of this. And you will not play it.
I've always heard that.
It's hard, Father. I heard that. That's the only thing comes in.
There is nobody who is playing the me and saying it is so easy. Nobody. See, whatever the situation in life is, we had in this room, there are hundreds who are suffering from various things. Some can even seem really strong in this phenomenal world. Yeah, some who have said that if there's something you can experience in this world, if it is to the level of 10, you are experiencing it at a 10, which I said right at the back. Things which are beyond any sort of what life should bring to us. But even there, in that situation, when we were having our phone calls together, this truth was still the same. That there can be pain, but there cannot be suffering unless you're believing yourself to be a limited me.
Exactly. That is totally. It's
Totally
what was
understood.
yeah.
Now, the second good news is that naturally in this moment, you are empty of the me. So which side is simpler? Now, the mind itself will come and say, easier said than done. But I am telling you that it is neither done nor said because it just is. Don't have a notion that you have to become something, get somewhere, stay as that. Forget all this. What are you now? Are you Aparna? Can't even find Aparna. Bhavani, Aparna, none of these you can find. Okay? And yet, what naturally comes to be played to answer this question will come. Tanika will come, the mother response will come. Easy. Consciousness is not some stupid thing. It knows how all roles have to be played. And you can never become smarter than consciousness. So our idea that I have to be a certain way is trying to value add onto God. I'm going to become that special that I can run my life better than God can.
Yeah, sometimes the role comes up to like role of a doctor and they are not doing that.
Yeah.
They are do that.
See, at one point I have to tell you that they are just what they are. You had them as a role model for you, or you had some expectation that they should be a certain way. But what they're showing up, how their role is showing up in this movie, is that they are playing that role. Okay? Now, if we keep fighting with that and saying, no, how can they be this way? Why are they this? That is pointless, even in the worldly way. Even if as a worldly guidance counselor having this conversation with you, I will tell you that this is meaningless. Why are they being this way and how could they be like this? Has never been the door to anything productive.
That's why it's hard to accept.
How hard is it? Let's do it now. They are as they are. Can we accept together? Till that acceptance doesn't come. And I'm not saying they are good or bad or nothing. I'm just saying they are as they are. Your father is how he is. Your mother is how she is. Your brother is how he is. Now you want to live with an idea of them or how they are.
So me being so not so dramatic like how they are, and expecting them to be the same. Where is the problem?
Yes. And maybe don't have a judgment about yourself also. Maybe in their eyes you are extremely dramatic. You see, it's very easy to say, oh, okay, Aparna is not so dramatic. Why can't they be like me? But for them, you might be coming across as, why can't she be like us?
Like so is it my problem that I'm that way?
Yes. Maybe I didn't understand the question. What is it? Maybe it is my problem. In what way? What are you referring to yourself as? Oh, that. Yeah, I am telling you that you are God. All of this, all of these are part of the. There's a father aspect which plays out. There's an aparna aspect that plays out. There's a brother aspect that plays out. All of this is playing out. You see, now who's making those lines and calling this me and that another? In this conversation, there's an Ananta aspect of you and then an aparna aspect of you. Is there any reality to the separation? The movie is just what the movie is. You can't take one part of the movie and say, this is me in the movie. It's just what the movie is.
Some circumstances that will be applied automatically, but when it is very strong and intense, then that's separation.
But I'm telling you that even in a worldly way, if I was speaking to you in a coffee shop, not in Satsang, I would have told you the same thing, that this getting into why are they like this is a pointless exercise. Nobody has an answer to this why anything is what it is. Why? Will you take my invitation to change the question from why to who?
I've tried.
Then what happens? Let's try now. Who is stuck? Who is stuck? You have any evidence of somebody who's stuck? Let's start there. Nobody is stuck. So that is the answer. Nobody is stuck. What do you mean there is no answer to that?
As in, it's
just a notion, just an idea that somebody is stuck. Is it? So the answer is clear to you. The mind hates this question because of this. It hates the who question because when you look, you can see nobody is stuck. Nobody is suffering. And the mind hates that. It's like, I've been trying to tell you the story of the whole story of Aparna for so long. And you just check in 1 minute, there's nobody, and just say nobody.
force is stronger from the other side than this. Checking that nobody is here, just a minute thing. Or maybe a second thing. You can just, okay.
Yes. So
But
what
then,
is stronger then?
other side.
How can it be stronger? If the truth just takes a moment of checking, then the truth must be stronger. If you had to do lots of effort to get to the truth, then that would be the false must be stronger. Actually, the false is powerless compared to your truth.
Then why doesn't that insight doesn't come in with strong emotions or whatever you're in that ego thing in that?
The real question is, why don't we stop asking why? Because why keeps us confused. It promises answers, but it keeps us confused. Who brings us clarity? But one didn't say, why am I? He said, who am I? And you see, this why am I is a very complicated question. I will say my favorite answer is entertainment. I will say somebody say to experience itself as something. You see, all these answers are there for why. Who is very direct.
Can I ask?
Just one second, let me see.
I'm not looking for answers. I don't want to question you or myself. It's just that
Raman says, Anantaji, once we are in this phase, is that enough? Because the mind expects some transformation which does not come through. This is actually what I've been saying. That you don't have to transform into the self. You are the self. You are not the caterpillar that has to transform into the butterfly. You are the butterfly who has the misconception that you are the caterpillar. So nothing really has to change. Just a misunderstanding has to be dropped. So what Bhagavan said, very beautiful. True knowledge is only a dropping of the false. Don't have to pick up anything new. In your notionless existence, nothing is missing. You are complete and more than complete. Sarah says, I want to write you something, but it's just a thought. That's okay, you can write. And while she's writing that, I can read the next question. How do we carry this state to doing our daily work? We answered a bit of that. How are you doing this right now? Is there somebody actually doing it? The listening is happening effortlessly. Your eyes might be moving, your head might be nodding, your hands might be moving. The mistaken notion that an imagined entity has been doing something is the one that is being dropped. Consciousness will move these waves as consciousness sees fit. So neither doing nor not doing, because both do not apply to you. Both are just appearances in your life. So if chopping wood, fetching water has to happen, then it will continue to happen or not. The fear behind this question actually is that what if it stops? Isn't it? What if it stops? At least with the egoic notion about myself, I have been managing some things in life. What if that goes away? This is the fear, isn't it? That's why Guruji has given us this reassurance that nobody who has come to this truth about themselves has regretted it and said, take this away. I'm not able to run my daily life. Nobody has done that. What needs to happen will happen. Consciousness has been the doer and the experiencer of all things, always. The truth is so big that sometimes I look at you and I see you as lottery winners. Who are firstly, no, you must be kidding me. Did I win? No, no, can't be. You're pulling a prank, isn't it? I'm introducing you to your God presence. And because the habit has been to identify with something personal for so long, initially it can seem like, no, no, you're just making me feel good. No, Father, I'm not in your state yet. You don't say you like that. But I'm not saying any of that. Without moving an inch, without picking up any idea about yourself, you are naturally the self, of which consciousness is just an aspect. The light of this universe is just a part of you, of the one self. This is your truth. And I'm saying check the ticket for yourself. Check on yourself and find out what you are. Don't go with your feelings of either disbelief or joy. Neither of these are relevant. Stay with what you're finding about yourself. It's like I'm saying you won the lottery, and you're saying, but my feeling is not confirming that. I'm saying, here's the ticket, check. No, no, but my feeling is not that. Then how to show you the truth? If you continue to make a benchmark about yourself through the quality of your feeling, and the quality basically of the interpretation of those feelings, not even the feeling themselves, then we continue to have this three-way conversation. Me, the mind, and you. Father is saying this. What do you feel about it now? No, but I still feel. So you report that to me, and I'm saying, no wonder it feels frustrating. You're just this guy in the middle. These two guys are playing the tennis match. I'm just like getting a neck ache.
I'd like to ask you about, is there some, I don't know, bridge or something between don't do anything and do inquiry? Because I'm finding right now, and there's actually real enjoyment of don't do anything.
Yeah.
But there isn't the trust that this can always be there, and so the thought arising, do inquiry now, there's my chance.
Okay.
So,
don't have to do anything at all is surrender. It's just surrender. Within that sense of not picking up the doer identity, usually there's a trust that okay, whatever is just going to take care of itself. Isn't it? Now, since you drop this doer identity, have all activities stopped from the body? I just saw you coming in a car, so I'm sure there's some activity continued to happen, isn't it? You went to Thiru and all these things, they continue. So, as you're empty of this notion of doership, then nothing is needed. Nothing at all is needed. Therefore, I would put actually surrender even before inquiry. Sometimes the mind's version of self-inquiry can come with this form of, how could you just give up on the inquiry? It can come like that. Trying to make a guilty or something out of you. You don't have to worry about that. Just as long as you're not confusing not doing with like the activity of not doing. As long as you can see that either doing or not doing does not apply to the reality of me. All of this has been just moving on its own anyway.
Just maybe since coming in the room or something, I just at some point noticed, oh, there's actually just a beautiful feeling of, there's a beautiful just face or something, and feeling like, thoughts arising, things arising, but it's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I can just let it.
Yes.
And so, but the thought comes, oh, this is just an experience I'm having now. What do I have to do to, yes. But what I hear you saying is, I think what I'm hearing you saying is really value that when, and I don't know actually if this is accurate. Value it, and when that experience is there, maybe just really enjoy it.
Yes.
I know it's not a bad experience.
Yes. I'm hearing how you're saying it. Yes, that's good. Just, if it sounds like, just remain in this openness. You see, let all things come and go. So, if you are valuing something, then value this openness for now. Raman says the question is not arisen out of fear, but the effort it takes to earn your living, which seems to be in contrast to being in satsang. Effort it. Sometimes, for some of you, especially when strong resistance is coming up, being in satsang is the worst thing. You feel like, I would rather just go and move a mountain or something than come and sit in satsang. When strong resistances are there. It's just sometimes when you're feeling very light and easy, then satsang can seem to be effortless. So you'll find that it is not about work or satsang, which is effort or effortless. You see? But the idea of being the doer or not. This doer is such a sticky thing that you've checked on yourself a million times and you found that there is no individual entity there. You see? And then you say, okay, I see that there is nobody here. Now what do I do? And many can't even hear the contradiction in that question. You see? Because it is so sticky. It's like saying, I don't exist. Now what should I do? You see? I see there is no cat. Now what should the cat do? It's like this. So the only answer to doership is to ask who. The debate of free will versus God's will is never ending, and I've had many years of experience with this. Right from my days when I used to be with Ramesh. You can keep debating whether the individual entity has free will, the Jivatma is free, or it is completely running by God's will. But till you see that there is no Jivatma, it is just a notion, I am something. All there is Atma itself. Yeah? What is it? Jivo Brahman Napara, or Brahman Jivan Napara, which means that they are not different. The ultimate reality and that which you are one. Once you see this, then what happens to the question of free will? So the question of free will is also answered by the question who. Whose free will would it be? If you had some, who would it belong to? Suppose I am distributing 10 grams of free will to all of you. 10 grams free will to all of you. Who is there to take it? There is nobody like that. Does the watermelon on this table have 3 eyes or 2? Does it have free will? There is none. Isn't that your answer? There is no watermelon on the table. The one that could have free will doesn't exist. And the one that you are is the only one that has will. Which is God's will. There's only one will which belongs to that which is. And you are that which is.
When you ask us to check,
Yes.
so then who's doing this checking? I mean, like which I'm checking, but there's no, okay, I can't say there's a physical person like that, but there's a sense of being, isn't it? I mean, there's this sense of,
Yeah, that's it. If it has that quiet, meditative quality about it, good enough. What else you
yes,
want?
but that always comes there. I mean, always when we look, then it comes to that.
Yeah.
That
Is there in that? It is there or there is in that?
oh. So when the mind wants to sell me an idea that when I check that there should be nothing in a sense of like a physical nothing. Do you know what I'm saying?
It should be like an empty glass.
Yeah, something like that. So when
And you're not even studying Buddhism. You only study Vedanta.
I know. But there's forever a sense of existence. And
Okay, let me clarify this thing
yeah.
for everyone. See, neither the Buddha nor Shankara, when they spoke about nothing or nothing, they were talking about you being essenceless. That idea itself is fake, you see? Because it is clear to all of us, you see? No matter what the starting point of this might be, we might call that from which being comes from as the absolute or the ultimate, or that which is just aware. Or you might even take the being itself to be the starting point. It is clear to any of us, even a child, that I am not essenceless. So this nothing, why I don't like the word so much nothing, is because it conveys this sort of essencelessness. Now your essence, you might come to see that it is existence or that which is even prior to existence. But it is not the absence of something. It might be the absence of all things, but it in itself is the presence of awareness or the presence of the self. So because there are no things there, some have called it nothing and some like me prefer the word nothing. Now that which is checking, that is witnessing even your existence, is that a thing or is it a no thing? Or is it just nothing, like essenceless? There is no such.
that which is now when we just be this silent thing, then there's no need to check anything. It's quite obvious. You're like, obviously.
No, that's not the point. I'm not talking about that which it is finding.
Yeah.
But that which it is doing the finding itself, what can we say about that one?
Then that find is not there anymore. Then that one is not there anymore.
Which one?
The one which went to look.
It's gone. So who is there?
I'm there.
As
this presence, as this whatever is.
Yes. So is that nothing?
No.
Is that something?
No. No, not as.
Not as a thing, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It is, but it's not.
Yes. It is not qualitative. You see, it does not have attributes, qualitative attributes like things do. You are that which is beyond qualities and attributes.
So when you say that, you just say as this, as what is. I mean, are we talking about that in the dynamic world, in the sense of what is? You know, like, don't resist what is. That's in the play
Yes.
thing.
That's why I started by saying, if you have to be something, then be space. Unresistive to what is. Then even that need to be something will drop away. Then you will see that even space you are not.
But the recognition is that I was watching my breath once and I realized that I'm not a thing which is watching the breath. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
There's no form there.
Yes.
I can't say
Yes.
this quality.
And yet you are watching, no?
Yeah, I was watching.
You cannot say Chaitanya was watching my breath.
No. So this, even though the recognition of this total formlessness, or seeing this, or anything for that matter, you can substitute with that. Then is it the same formlessness which is again picking up this idea? It
Yes.
doesn't seem like that.
Because why it doesn't seem so directly like that is because first this finger arises of being. It is like I places I am, and then starts picking up ideas. That's why, although in reality there is no distinction, that's why, and yet before the false ideas can be picked up, this play of being must be there. You cannot pick up a false idea in deep sleep.
No.
First, the play of existence has to come.
So that comes independent of I am. I mean, I'm not slowing it down, so I can't kind of see, which is, when you get that recognition that it's like absolutely no form, and yet no quality, and yet everything is perceived in that way.
Yes.
And then after seeing that also, you suddenly find yourself again acting like this funny person.
Who is acting like that?
I don't know whether feeling.
This is what I'm saying, no? We have the insight of that which is beyond this universe.
Yeah.
And yet we want to apply that to one form and sitting in this universe.
Yeah, but today, like you said, okay, just let it be, and then it just started letting off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then don't make that one thing to verify. You just break down these concepts.
Now, suppose it meant nothing to Jyotima's life. This is what I meant when I said truth for truth's sake, not for the byproducts of it. Now you are coming to the recognition of what you are. Is Jyotima coming to it?
No.
Then why should Jyotima's body change or her action change?
Because do you find everything is on disappear? Question.
No, what I was saying that even even if you are being just rational about it and not intuitive, won't this question be logical? That if that which is beyond this play of name and form is coming to the recognition of its own self, then why should that which we've given a name and form respond to that? Does it have to have a correlation?
Exactly, it doesn't have a correlation.
It doesn't have to have. It can or it cannot, depending on of how consciousness wants to play.
But it seems like two distinct things.
Exactly. Exactly what I'm saying. So if you drop this cause and effect thing, I see the truth, therefore now I must act more loving, or therefore I must now be this thing, because the two eyes are still different. No? One is the absolute and one is still this body-mind. Then to draw some sort of equality or proportionality is a fake notion.
So then again, there's this notion brought by a mind thing saying that if this is, then that shouldn't be.
Cause and effect.
No, meaning if this recognition is there, then this play shouldn't be.
Yeah, but I've never said that.
No, you haven't said that, but it feels like that's the story which
it's being bought.
Somehow is being.
I'm just telling you that there is no basis for buying that story. And this story is what is keeping us in this identification also. Because we keep thinking, okay, if I've seen the truth, then I would not be acting like this. If I've seen the truth, then why am I being like this? Really? This worldly benchmark, then our feeling benchmark, then our thought benchmark.
Which you told us to just throw it.
Just stay with your insight.
Yeah. And also, it's not only, unfortunately, it's not only your benchmarks, but it seems like if you say you're going to Satsang, it is with my family or whatever, I'm supposed to suddenly become same or be very well behaved and never get angry and never get shout and never be abusive or anything. And then I'm like, but then it really kind of really gets, and
when I started going to Satsang, every argument I had with my wife, she used to say, your Satsang is not working. It is how the world also makes that correlation.
Yeah. So
I wish I had some videos of Maharaj in those days.
Yeah, what was Maharaj?
Yes. He looks very, at least outwardly angry.
Yes, I see him. And his eyes get all big and big.
Yeah. I feel like many of us who are in relationships would have had that experience. Like the partner saying, your satsang is just not working. It's just not helping. Even with parents. It's called level confusion.
Like you said this and my mind took it as a bad news.
Oh.
No, like not.
Most of what I say for the mind is bad news.
only the last part.
Yeah, which is?
After recognition of who you are. So I'm not saying the negative emotion should not come, but this attack this restlessness should ease out, right? I'm not expecting to be blissed out or no negative emotion, not that, but it is ease with yourself, comfortable under your own skin. So does that?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
As long as you don't change the benchmark from this then to when you come to neutrality, where is the bliss?
That's itself is a benchmark to be achieved.
So this Satchitananda. First Ananda should come, then I'll believe Satyam Chit. Isn't that what happens with Satchitananda? Everybody keeps saying, no Ananda, therefore must not be true. What I'm finding is not. So you have to just give Sat and Chit some room. Ananda will come. We keep saying, where's the bliss? Where's the Ananda? Where's the Ananda? We were in Chinmay Vibhuti and I was sitting with some of the people there. And our group. So somebody will be crying, sitting alone in the silent retreat, just crying. And Shivani will be like, why does father do these silent retreats? And I'm meeting my family after a year. And it's like, just so stupid. And why you can't just get with the program? Even Rupert doesn't like silent retreats, But this one, he has to keep doing these silent retreats. So she'll be crying over one side. So then one of them who stays with the Chinmay Ashram, Chinmay Mission over there, what's happening to these people? Are they all right? So then I was explaining to them, that you repress so much emotion and all this, and you get an environment where all this can come out in your own silence. So then he looked at me and said, do any of them ever feel any joy also?
Anybody who said that, like the spouse or a child or a friend, that, oh, you've improved after satsang? They always say big words.
That is true.
That also happens.
I feel like Garima now is starting to say it. New Year's party is still continuing? Where do you have to go? No.
He's angry because of that.
Okay, I'm missing some questions. Again and again, Prisha says, again and again I go to Satsang to drop pieces of this movie called My Life. At the same time, I see that this movie is made up. I see that the only way is to drop it completely and not drop only pieces and scenes of it. Just wanted to tell you that. And as my mother would say, drop the dropper. See, because otherwise it can feel like I'm just emptying my pockets every time. You see, just emptying my pockets. So drop the one who's doing the dropping. Acha. Shivani says, I love silent retreats, father. Tell me what you really feel. That's the best thing. So till Shivani comes this time, we are allowed to speak, isn't it? Is that the rule? She's come one day later. So we said that first day we'll talk. It didn't work out. I didn't plan it that way. It just we'll see how it goes.
We talk all day.
Yeah, you just talk all day on the air, just like speak. Sarah was going to type something, no? That's why we took a break. What happened? She typed? No, she probably feels it is not important. It's good. It's good that way also. Huh? You know that movie with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson, where Jack Nicholson is the colonel in the army and Few Good Men. Jack Nicholson says, "You can't handle the truth, or can you handle the truth?" Or something. Sometimes I feel like saying that. Handle this truth that you are God. Okay? Very good. And if that seems too much, at least can you handle this truth that no matter what is happening, God is. As I was saying the other day, whatever your story about yourself might be, you can always end with saying, but God is here. Whatever your doubt might be, you can say God is here. Now some have a cultural problem with the term God because it's been conditioned in the wrong way. So we can say consciousness is here, or being is here. It's not about terminology. I don't care what word you use actually. That which is the supreme intelligence, the light of this universe, is here. If that was also coming and going, then I would give up. The fact is that the truth is not coming and going. The self is not coming and going. The supreme is not coming and going. You are not coming and going. Sarah says, Father, I can be here and I am happy for it. Thank you. So welcome. Thank you, Serena. Thank you. Anil says, but Father, you asked me to get certificate from family. Yes, there was a different feeling behind that one. Sarah says, I want to meet you in person. And I see my body expressions reflecting the mind, which does not want this. Don't pick up this burden of trying to control some expression or what it is conveying. Just come like a little baby. Don't worry. A mother is not judging the infant by the expression the infant has on his face. Father, the tickets doubled in price one day earlier. Yes. Just so you know, yeah, you told me. I know. Doesn't mean I can't use it, does it? Actually, we should wish good luck to the new year that's coming. It has to spend all its time with you. Wish it well.
This lady in the School of Ancient Wisdom, she said, from yappy to happy.
Yappy?
Yappy means the mind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to bliss and silence. Happy. Happy.
What's our this thing? What's our time?
7.
Oh, look at that.
6, 7.
Is this year going to be like this then? I'm back to 3 hours and 4 hours.
I just want.
Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki
Jai. Sadguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.